Beyond the far corner of the square, a convoy of red double-deckers came into sight, pulling up at the bus stops, but very few passengers could be seen getting on or off at that time in the morning. The rush hour was yet to come. The early bird catches the worms, Rebecca laughed mirthlessly, scanning the pavements below as she picked out the old pedestrian walking there. I think not of them as worms. They are worse than senseless things, the old Styx proclaimed, contemplating the scene with his glittering eyes, which were every bit as alert as Rebecca's. In the growing light, his face was so pale and unyielding it could have been carved from a block of ancient ivory, and with his ankle-length leather overcoat and his hands clasped behind his back, he resembled a conquering general as he stood by Rebecca on the very edge of the roof of Admiralty Arch. Both of them showed not the slightest fear at the sheer drop immediately before them. The old Styx closed his eyes, not because the gathering topsail light bothered him, but because he had been struck by a thought that was tiresome. That Burrows child. Rebecca had opened her mouth to speak, but held her tongue as the old Styx continued. You and your sister did well to pull in the Jerome woman and neutralise her. Your father was not one for unfinished business either. Both of you have his instinct, the old Styx said, so softly that it could have been construed as affection. He released his hands from behind his back, swinging them in front of him and clapping them together. Rebecca took her cue from the gesture. Yes, she said, we should get under way. Her long black coat billowed open in the breeze as she half turned to the troop of Styx waiting quietly behind her. Let me see one, she ordered, as she left the roof edge and strode imperiously towards the rank of shadowy men. There were perhaps as many as 50 of them in a perfectly straight line, and from this a single Styx snapped obediently to life, breaking from the formation. He knelt down to slip his gloved hand under the lid of one of a pair of large wicker baskets, which he and every one of the Styx on the rooftop had by their feet. From the basket came the soft sounds of cooing, as he plucked out a pure white dove and closed the lid again. As he passed the dove to Rebecca, it tried to flap its wings, but she took it firmly in both hands. They are ready? The old Styx asked, as he came alongside Rebecca. They are, another Styx confirmed from farther down the line. Excellent, the old Styx said, as he began to stroll along the rank of men, each one melding with the next in the weak light as they stood shoulder to shoulder, all wearing identical black leather greatcoats and breathing apparatus. My brothers, the old Styx addressed them, we are done with hiding. It's time to take what is rightfully ours. He was silent for a moment, allowing his words to sink in. Today will be remembered as the first day of a glorious new epoch in our history. It is a day that will mark our eventual return to the surface. So, my comrades, the next time we find ourselves here, our cargo will indeed be deadly. Then our foes, the topsoilers, will be laid low, just as it is decreed in the Book of Catastrophes, and we, the true heirs to the earth, shall regain what is rightfully ours. He came to a dramatic halt and addressed the Styx in a lower, more intimate tone. To work. There was a flurry of activity as the troop got ready. Rebecca took over. On my mark, 3, 2, 1, go, she commanded, pitching her dove high into the air. The Styx immediately heaved open the baskets by their feet, and the birds took to the wing, a white swarm flapping from between the amassed men and lifting from the rooftop. Rebecca watched her dove for as long as she could, but the hundreds of others caught up with it, and it was soon lost in the flock, which seemed to linger for a second over Nelson's column before dispersing in all directions, like a cloud of pale smoke fanned by the wind. Fly, 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 Rebecca called out after them, laughing.